And in the 9 o'clock position, we have our yellow Terran player. I was like, Marine King again? Guys, he's from Team Prime. He is going to be avenging his teammate, Marine King, on his very account. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Maru, who has got quite a struggle in front of him that is going to begin here and may very well end here with how good he's playing in the red from Evil Geniuses. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thorzane. He has subsequently killed 2, maybe 3 people. That has also, Kevin, been the magic number lately.
Yeah, actually 3 kills. So
here and Revival doing it yesterday.
Yeah.
See if Thorzane can do it here.
And we're now 7 games in, and we haven't seen a certain player yet. And in fact, Prime will not field one. This is their last player. He has to come back and take 3 games in a row. And we'll see what he can do. Of course, taking Abyssal City right here is an interesting choice in TVT. I'm trying to think the last time I've seen a TVT on this map, as a matter of fact. Looks like both players are actually going to open up with gas first. This time, though, Thorzane did decide to take a much more passive 3-base before gas approach on Whirlwind against Marine King. But this time, answering tech with tech.
Yeah, gas firsts here. I mean, really, here's what, you know, okay, so gas first has a multitude of possibilities. If you want to be the defensive player, you honestly can just go for siege tanks and Vikings, and you are in an incredibly safe position. You go for a quick command center here, but neither of these guys have sent out a scout, so it doesn't look like either of them are actually going to know that each other went gas first. If that happens, they're probably both going to just go for their aggressive builds, and we'll see, you know, whatever we happen to see out of this.
We can have one of those crazy games like where one guy goes Cloak Banshees, the other guy goes Marine Hellion drops, and they just kill their entire worker lines kind of thing. Yeah.
I mean, that's... Well, actually, okay. Sumaru is sending out his SCV, and notably Thorzane didn't go for the wall off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he sees this, he still could transfer into that defensive play, which I'm a huge fan of. If you go for the command center and then you just play it safe, siege tanks will just kill anything on the ground, and your Vikings will obviously pick off the Banshees, because it's not going to be any sort of, like, heavy Marine-based push.
Well, Maru now, he is going to get in there in just a second. A second supply depot is being created. That's not going to be quick enough to be able to deny the scout, though. The Marine may do it. And actually pops out at exactly the perfect time. Looks like Maru's just going to try and run right on 5, though.
Oh,
and he does.
Milliseconds making the difference there for Maru. He mineral tricked his SCV through the Marine, and if it had to go around the Marine, that would have spelled its death. Beautiful play there from Maru, getting the information that he needed.
Very cool stuff. Sees exactly what his opponent is up to, saw the tech lab being constructed, of course knows that it's going to be a starport that drops down on top of it right afterwards. Would have been a clever time for Thorzane to maybe switch things up and go for something a little bit different there, but it wouldn't have been as good as just going for his initial Banshee plan. Now, Maru's doing the exact same thing. I mean, almost down to the letter here. His only difference is that he's doing it off of 2 gas, so we're likely to see some cloak his way. Thorzane, not as likely. Or in fact, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, this is such a huge advantage for Maru in this situation, because it's basically these guys opened with the exact same builds, except Maru knows everything and Thorzane knows nothing at all.
Right. And Thorzane now has to expend 100 resources in a Hellion to be able to make his way out there and try
so
to deny
much
this.
later.
And it's not even going to get in because these supply depots are all going to raise, and 3 Marines are going to kill it immediately.
Well, there won't be a barracks as part of the wall off, and that's a little bit of a tell that your opponent did go gas first. Did he manage to get far up enough the ramp to see the supply depots, though? That's okay, so he did. And he managed to see the refineries as well, but it's definitely, you know, it's a tell, but it's not a given. You know what I mean? You can't know that your opponent went gas first because they have a 3 supply depot wall off.
And he also doesn't know about the second gas, which is actually pretty critical, because if you get up there and you can see the amount of gas that's being taken, you see second gas, you're like, oh, okay, Cloak's hitting, let's go prepare for it right now. Thorzane, of course, going for the uncloaked Banshee route, and he's going to follow that up with the second command center. This is going to leave him temporarily vulnerable, especially with the reactor coming up. He only has 3 Marines on the field.
And this is really... Look at Maru's main base. Did he already make a Banshee? Does he have one on the field? Because if he's holding them... Okay, no, it didn't pop out yet. That's why. He just started Cloak first, so his Cloak's done super fast.
Right, and that's going to hit just as he makes his way across the map. Now, of course, because this reactor is still 10 seconds away from being done, that's the exact moment this Banshee's going to show up. That Banshee's going to be able to very easily kill 3 Marines. But there we go. Thorzane pops out a Viking. He's got... Oh,
but
no.
he just used his...
Oh, no.
Well, this is the point where the Banshee would have arrived for Maru,
Yes.
And it didn't, so Thorzane went, okay, I'm good to drop my mule, and then the Banshee showed up. So smart out of Maru to go for that cloak before Banshee, and the turret is trying to be completed, but Maru just continually killing the SCVs that are constructing it.
And you can see that Thorzane's a little bit flustered at the moment. He's got 5 workers on this refinery over here, so looks like that finally will finish up. The Banshee's not going to die. It sneaks out 9 kills, 8 of which were workers.
Now back at home, we see Thorzane. He has gotten nothing done. Actually, if we pull up units of lost tab, has he...
He killed 2 workers there, because he killed the 1 SCV before that was scouting, and then he just killed 2 additional ones, but that is it.
All right, second Banshee coming in right now. It does have Cloak, and a lot of it. We'll see what he decides to do with this. Will he go for the reactor? It looks like no, he's going to swing in, try to pick off a couple more SCVs.
Yeah, and does a pretty effective job of driving them away and causing more economic damage just by those trying to get out of there. So let's see if that was worth it. Maru, after all is said and done, of course, has a slower second command center. He's up by 3 workers. That's going to be easily made up by Thorzane at the moment. And both of their tech is pretty much the same. It's really going to be an infrastructure and upgrades after this.
Yeah, what we are seeing, though, is a difference in the supply. Army supply for these guys, 27 to 26. Where's the difference then? Because I'm reading it backwards.
Yeah.
But you did see a large advantage there for Maru, looking at least 10 supply over his opponent in that military department.
Okay, well, Thorzane now has his second base up. He's getting it saturated here. So, like I said, he will be able to make up the economic disadvantage. He's already caught up in workers. But, of course, killing 8 workers is what you want to do, because if you're losing the advantage of getting the earlier command center out, and yours is much later, then you need to be able to make up that worker count. And that's exactly what he did with that Banshee.
Maru's got a lot of Marines here. Taking a look at Thorzane, I mean, we know he won't have as many. It looks like he's investing those 2 Hellions at the bottom
4
Marines as well. He's got, yeah, very, very low Marine count. That's actually going to make these Banshees super dangerous if he picks off that Raven.
He's actually going for delayed cloak and then moving after just pure. I mean, I won't even call it mech right now because he's just producing nothing but reactored Hellions and Banshees. That's it.
This is the part, too, where Thorzane is a little bit weak when he can't use the calculated build orders. You know, when he's kind of got to do that improv because he's so strong when the game goes according to plan. But this is a situation where Thorzane took some heavy economic blows and now kind of does have to do quite a bit of improv.
Well, Maru now is bearing down with an enormous army. The siege tank alone, there's actually 2 of them now. These 2 siege tanks are going to do a significant amount of damage. Maru continuing to press in just a little bit further each time. All the units are getting staged up for Thorzane. He does have a lot of Hellions to try and close the gap quickly, but what are they going to do against 2 siege tanks with that many supporting Marines and Banshees in the air?
And the Banshee for Thorzane right now might pick off a siege tank. No, it does not, but the scan is wasted. Doesn't manage to secure the kill.
Yeah, it's only got a few hit points left. Looks like that siege tank's going to back up for the moment. Combat shield did actually just end up finishing up. Another scan goes down, but the siege tank does eventually die.
The explosions on this map sound really cool. I don't know if you've noticed that they kind of have like a weird treble and they do though.
I'm impressed.
Oh man, Thorzane.
I can't do those kind of sound effects. Very nice job.
Yeah, nice lift.
Picks up inside of the medevac. Of course, that is Thorzane's cue to go, though. He's going to drop back down these siege tanks. Not actually going to put those in siege mode. Just needs to deal with a couple of units that are up at the front. Thorzane just pulled a lot of workers off the line to try and get this done. He does significantly weaken the army of his opponents, but he doesn't have enough here to kind of close this in. Oh, there we go. Finally does catch up and... oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, the Banshee. I thought it was going to make a difference, but the Raven came in for Thorzane.
Yeah.
It didn't, man. He held that off, but Thorzane is substantially down in supply right now.
Yeah, he just lost another 22 workers or something along those lines, so he is significantly economically hampered. He's down only 8 workers to his opponent right now, but, you know, Maru's up in almost every measurable category. He's got the better quality of army right now in the medevacs and Marines compared to the glut of air forces that Thorzane has out with nothing really supported on the ground.
Yeah, those Vikings have, you know, Vikings can be great if your opponent has any air units, but really Maru, I mean, he's got medevacs. The Marines will be able to easily defend them, and even more importantly here, Maru has a slew of upgrades on the way that are going to really swing the game in his favor. Stim, concussive shells to deal with the Hellions that Thorzane's been pushing out this whole game, as well as he's now getting those infantry upgrades. I mean, these are things that in the long run, Thorzane's not going to be able to deal with.
All right. Well, we'll see if Thorstein can try and do maybe some counter economic damage.
Yeah.
But the problem is this is already pretty well fortified for Maru. I mean, even without this being in siege mode, he's got enough units here. He's got this light depot wall up at the front. I mean, Maru is very consciously aware of what can kill him right now. And when you eke out an advantage, that's the kind of thing you have to think about. What can kill me right now? And a big economic damage run by with Hellions could certainly do that.
Yeah, he just needs to play crisp and clean from here and not, as you said, sustain any of those blows. And he's going to be in a great spot when these upgrades are getting ready to finish, which Sim, folks, is about to complete. There it goes, and armor is about halfway done. But he's going to be able to push now because he's got the Medivacs, Stim. He's even got some Marauders and tanks with this.
Oh, I love that. He knows
pretty scary.
He knows his opponent had a ton of Hellions out there, and Hellions basically do nothing to Marauders.
Nothing at all. They're like Banelings. I just hate that, man. I'm like, Banelings are supposed to be good against Bio. They aren't.
And then Marauders just sit there and punch them away.
Yeah.
All right, so Thorstein now, what's his army composition?
I would never punch a Baneling. Are you kidding me?
6 Hellions, 2 Banshees, 2 Vikings, a Raven, and a single Marine. And this looks like it may just be enough here.
Wow.
Loses the command center. Everything is pulled off the line now for Thorstein as he's got to defend this at all costs. He's got the 2 Banshees floating in the air, yes, but that's it. GG, well played. Prime takes a game back. Maru takes a game. It's 4-3 now, still in favor of Evil Geniuses.
Maru bringing it back a little bit there for his team, but honestly, I mean, everything there throughout the game looked a little in his favor because he got that early scouting information, and both players opened with the same thing. When you open with the same thing and you have information, your opponent has none, you're setting yourself up for success there. So we'll see if he can continue to even things up. It looks like Evil Geniuses is next going to be bringing out Jaedong. So we're going to get to witness a Zerg.
Yay!
Yes!
We have a Zerg player!
In fact, ZB2, which is like ZB2's fantastic matchup. I really, really enjoy it.
Kind of the quintessential
If you guys are new to StarCraft,
matchup.
It's the only matchup you ever need to watch.
TVZ is fun. And we'll see if Jaedong can do it here and close things out for Evil Geniuses. He's chosen Daybreak. Daybreak! I'm surprised that this map has lasted until map number 8. I think Metropolis is the only one that's left. So
always Metropolis.
We're going to run to a commercial break. When we get back, guys, it'll be game number 8. We'll see if Jaedong can close it out for Evil Geniuses or if Maru is going to send us to yet another ace match.